Hi everyone, this is Ariane with StoryMix Media, and we are here tonight to talk about how to get the most photos and videos from your wedding guests. I'm going to give it another couple of minutes and just let everyone join us, but just wanted to say hi. Do leave a comment. The Q&A app is on, so let me know if you're able to hear me, if you have any questions, and I'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Okay. So we are here tonight to talk about how to get the most photos and videos from your wedding guests. Most of your guests have their smartphones out, their cameras out, and they're all shooting photos and videos of your wedding, but sometimes it can be really hard to actually get the files from them. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the different ways to get the files, as well as, what's the best, what's the most efficient, and how to actually get the most files from them. You do want them out there taking photos and videos. So here's how to let them know what service you're using and actually how to get the files. Okay, so a little bit about what we do first. My name's Ariane Fisher. I am the co-founder of Wedding Mix. We have a free app, and it's a great way. You can install the app. It's a great way to get all the photos and videos from your friends' phones. And what's nice about Wedding Mix is it's totally free for your guests, and it includes an edited wedding video. So you can get all those photos and videos and actually do something with it and have something to share with your friends afterwards. So the first step is how to get the files from your guests. Now, there's several different ways, of course. There's tons of free apps on the market. And one of the things I tend to think about with free is, will you actually use it? So there's lots of different apps in the App Store. And I tend to think of it like when I get a gift card from somebody and it just sits in my drawer of gift cards, because free tends to connote not much value. So you want to have some buy-in, which with whatever app you're using, you want to have some sense of ownership to it. You want to actually play with it, use it, talk to your friends about it. If it's free, it's not bad because it's free. It's just how much attention are you giving to it? So whatever app you use, you want to actually put some emotional investment into it. Even if it's time, that's fine instead of money, but put some emotional investment into it. So free apps are one way to get the files from your guests. Another way is Google Drive. I've heard of brides doing that. Google Drive or Dropbox. And that is good for your guests who are filming on their own cameras, because they have to hook up their cameras to computer anyway to get the files to you. It's there's some cameras out there, like actual real cameras, that can send the files via Wi-Fi, but for the most part, you still connect them to computer, and Google Drive and Dropbox can be convenient for that. However, if it's getting the files from their phones, that's when Google Drive and Dropbox can kind of be a pain. If you know what you're doing, it's not too bad, but for most people, it's just not as simple as using an app. And that's the other thing with all these methods. The nice thing with Google Drive and Dropbox is that you will get the full resolution files. So if they filmed in HD videos, you'll get the HD videos. If you're using an app, let's say like Instagram or something, you're going to get 15 to 30-second, I think Instagram might let you do 1 minute now, video clips, but they're very low resolution. So you're not actually going to get a copy of them. and you're not going to be able to really do much with it. The photos, they'll look good on your phone, but they're still going to be pretty low resolution. So that's the difference with Wedding Mix, is you get the full HD files so you can really do something with it later, like edit them. Facebook actually has a way where you can do Facebook albums for your wedding and invite the wedding guests for that, and they can all upload. Now, one thing I just found out about Facebook app, and maybe you guys knew this already, when you send photos with it, and it might depend if you're doing it through Messenger compared to a Facebook album. I haven't tried out the albums for this. It doesn't save a copy to your phone. So if it's your wedding photos or videos, it'll upload to Facebook, but you don't actually get to keep a copy of it. So to me, I don't really like that. That's one thing with the Wedding Mix app. If somebody films something on their phone, they still get to keep a copy of it. It doesn't only live in an app. And let me check real quick if anyone had any questions. Yay, okay, Melanie said she can hear me just fine. Cool. So we were at Facebook albums. Next is Instagram. So that's like probably the most popular free app that people use for their weddings to get the photos and videos. And they're beautiful. I'm not going to argue with that. The photos and videos on Instagram are certainly beautiful. The problem comes in that you can't actually download them. So let's say you have your unique hashtag. Unique is very important because you don't want to look at a Facebook feed and see everyone else's, everyone else's wedding, right? So we actually, I just blogged about this on Huffington Post. I'm a contributor there. We had a bride last fall who picked a hashtag that was really special to her and her husband and to thousands of other couples. So yeah, her guests uploaded to Instagram, but she couldn't possibly find her photos and videos. And with Instagram, even if you do pick a unique hashtag, you can't actually get the photos and videos off of Instagram. So you won't get a copy. And then let's say a year, 2 years later, somebody else picks that same hashtag. Now their stuff is mixed in with your feed. So it's cool to use Instagram, but you want to find a way to actually get the files from there. And that's something with Wedding Mix. We have the option that you can get a custom app code to match your hashtag, and then you can actually get copies of all the media. In fact, you can get copies and we include it in your highlight video. So it's pretty nice. You get those nice filters and they're beautiful, and you get a copy to keep. Okay, were there any questions at this point? Okay, I am gonna move on and excuse the L train that's right outside. I'm in Chicago and it's about 10 feet from my window. Now, the next thing is when to use a wedding photo or video app. And again, this goes for any app you use. We have an infographic that we created called 10 key wedding moments to remember. And I have this, you should be able to see it on the side. Can you let me know if you're not able to see it? I should have the link to it. And also in the recording, I'm going to put the links in the YouTube description as well, so everyone can get to see a copy of the infographic. Now, these are some of the nice things to have your guests film. Showers, bachelorette, bachelor party, DIY projects, venue walkthroughs. We had a couple that filmed. Now, their venue was a forest. It was their grandfather's campgrounds, and it was beautiful. And they filmed their venue walkthrough on the Wedding Mix app. And then we took those clips and we created a save the date video for them that they then sent out to their guests before the wedding. So another one you can do is film your own Say Yes to the Dress. I actually have a tutorial for that one as well. First dance practice. We recently had a bride that we did a little video for her of her first dance practice because she was more used to dancing than her fiance. Another popular one is Will You Be My Bridesmaid? So these are things that while you're going through your engagement time and your wedding planning, you think you're going to remember forever, but it's really important to film them. because in 10 years, you're not going to remember the reaction on your bridesmaid's face when you asked her. The DIY projects especially, I remember having, I guess I called it a glitter party, but we DIY'd absolutely everything. And we DIY'd the invitations. And my father-in-law, an ex-Air Force dude, Air Force soldier, was there embossing, glittering. It was great. And I wish I had video of that. So this infographic will give you some great ideas of what you want your guests to film. And just make sure they all do it. You can even create a shot list in the app of what you want them to film so they'll know ahead of time. Okay. Any questions at this point? Okay, so next is what to film. So the ones we just talked about were activities before the wedding that you might want to have your guests film. Another thing to look at is the whole wedding weekend. What do you want them to film? So we created a unique photo checklist for you of moments you might not have thought of. So one is the journey to the wedding. Your guests may be coming from all over the country, even all over the world. We had one bride who was from Kansas. Her fiance was from Sweden, and they had the wedding in Jamaica. So they took our cameras and the app, and the guests who couldn't make it, they still filmed well wishes and marriage advice and things to include in their wedding video. But you can also have almost a scavenger hunt and the journey to the wedding and people filming things in the airports. Another thing is the excursions. In our family, we call them oots for out-of-towners. And any excursions you have planned for the out-of-towners, because if people are traveling, you want to set up different activities for them. And this is all part of the wedding. We didn't plan it, but a lot of our guests, we got married in Detroit, and a lot of our guests went to the casino. So it would have been they probably could have gotten kicked out, okay, for filming in the casino, but everyone hanging out in front and all the different activities, brunches, tours, whatever you have planned for out-of-towners is still part of your wedding weekend. Another big one is rehearsal, because the fact is, even if you were to hire a videographer, they most likely wouldn't be there for your rehearsal dinner. And that's when a lot of the great toasts are going on. We had one couple where that was when the fiance got up in front of the whole crowd and asked the bride's father for his permission to marry his daughter. And another great one is the cocktail hour. A lot of people forget about this and they think the cocktail hour is no big deal. But a lot of times that's when your photographer is going to take you and your fiance off, or your new spouse off, to go take your portrait photos. And maybe you and he and the wedding party will be off posing for photos. But there's all kinds of fun things going on at the cocktail hour. I mean, we've seen some where sorority sisters all got together and recreated their sorority dance. There's all kinds of fun things going on then. And you want your guests to know that's a great time to be filming. Another one we have on that infographic is, as you're walking down the aisle, your mom is probably tearing up. So make sure you ask a guest to film your mom's reaction as you walk down the aisle with your dad. And if that's actually the first look for your husband, make sure somebody's filming him. So another great activity is the after party. For us, our wedding went actually till about 1 in the morning, so we didn't have an after party, but a lot of weddings end maybe at 10 or 11, and then there's an after party. So make sure you tell everyone to get that on film. And then the next one, this most likely isn't for the guests, although we've had some wedding mix brides who did go on a honeymoon with other couples, but make sure you include the honeymoon. Because in your edited video, at the end of the day, you want to include photos and videos from all these pre-wedding events and all the wedding weekend events, because it's all part of the wedding. In fact, with the Wedding Mix app, we have interview questions right in there for your guests to ask each other. And these are really cute, fun things like, what should he get her on their first anniversary? Or how can she sweet talk him? what is your favorite memory of the bride, or anything like that. These are fun things. It's not just, hey, say congratulations, because that, that's okay. But one of the most memorable ones I can recall is a bride's grandmother. The grandmother couldn't actually make it to the wedding, but the aunt downloaded the Wedding Mix app, and the grandmother was filmed telling the story of how the grandfather proposed. And so this was something really special that they were able to include at the end of their wedding video. And it's a memory they'll have forever, even though the grandmother couldn't be at the wedding. Okay, so let's just check if there's any questions. Okay. And the next one is how to tell your guests you're using a photo and video app. Now, the absolute best way is in person. Brides who use Wedding Mix tend to get around 400 photos and videos per wedding, just from the app. So we also have rental cameras that a lot of people use, but just from the app, we tend to get about 400, usually around 100 photos, around 300 photos and maybe around 100 videos. So the best way to let everyone know, though, as popular as table cards are, and I am going to give you a table card template, telling people in person, so either that can be at the showers, the bachelor, the bachelorette, but especially getting together with people in person. Like if you have out-of-towners coming in, you let them know about your wedding app. You can let them know, like I said, rehearsal, but anytime you're getting together with people, let them know about your app. If you have an engagement party, that's the best way because you're personally asking them, and people are more than happy to give you their photos and videos that they're going to be filming anyway. Now, an advantage of putting it on your wedding website or in an email template is that you can actually have a link to download the app and give them the app code. So wedding website is great because you can go in there and even put your shot list in there and tell people exactly what you're hoping that they'll film. Another great one is an email template. Excuse me. So I know with our Wedding Mix brides, we send out a few different email templates that they can send to their guests to let everyone know what's going on. You're using this cool app and how to install it. It's pretty simple. And what your app code is. Another good one, and I'm not sure if other apps can do this, but with Wedding Mix, you can text the link to the App Store and the app code right from the app. So you can just let people know on the fly. I wouldn't wait until the reception to do that because by then people are, they've been partying a little bit, so they might be less likely to do it. But that's certainly a convenient way to do it at the rehearsal dinner or other times. Table cards is another great one. And this link I have on the bottom is to a blog post we have with some free table card templates. There's some really great ones that we have out there. And there's also some great ones on Etsy. If you search on our blog, there's also some downloads. Some are free, some aren't, from Etsy for table cards to let people know about whatever photo and video app you're using. Again, I wouldn't wait to do this. I wouldn't wait until the reception, but it is nice to have it as a reminder. And the table cards can also be used in the invitation envelope to let people know. Another one is Facebook, a filtered post, of course, so you're not letting your entire Facebook feed know that you're getting married, even if they're not invited to the wedding, because that could be awkward. But we do, when somebody orders with Wedding Mix, we do provide all of these things, a blurb for Facebook, an email template, the table cards. But you do want to use all these different ways to let people know so that you actually get a copy of their photos and videos. Because while it's great that they're taking the photos and videos, it's not really helpful if they text them to you because they might look good on your phone, but in a year or two, those are not the full resolution files. So if you try to print out a photo, let's say, or edit a video using a texted video, what looks good on your phone is not going to look good on your big screen TV. It's going to make you look like a Lego minifigure. So you want to get the actual full resolution files from them. And these tips here are really the best way to do it. So I would encourage you to go to this Tell Guests app blog post so you get all the tips on how to let everyone know about whatever service you're using. Okay, I'm going to check real quick if there are any questions. Okay. And the next one is how to tell your guests that you're using a photo and video app. I do have a blog post on smartphone etiquette when your guests are filming your wedding on their smartphones. So this is you can put printable instructions right. I'm sorry. Eyes are failing as the coffee wears off. We do have printable instructions that if you order wedding mix, they're right in your dashboard. These can be put on on the tables, but you also have instructions that can be emailed to your guests. This infographic, though, is super helpful because it includes tips on I guess the best way of putting it is to let your photographers, and let's say you have a videographer, do their thing and yet still go get those clips that you need. Because you want your photographer to be able to get those beautiful wedding photos without seeing 10 million guests in the way. But you still want your guests to have fun at your wedding. So some things I've seen people do is either have an unplugged ceremony or they just encourage their guests to stand in different places. They find out where the photographer is standing and just make sure that their guests are standing off to the side a little bit so they can still get great photos and videos, but the photographer has the chance to do their thing as well. So this infographic will give you some great tips on the etiquette of filming and also things like how to hold the camera. Did you ever see wedding videos on YouTube where they have the black bars on the side? As you can see in this photo, the bride is holding her camera sideways. And that's one of the biggest tips in filming a wedding video on the smartphone is to hold it sideways. Now, with the Wedding Mix app, we actually have an overlay that reminds people to hold it sideways. So that way you don't get the black bars. But take a look at the infographic and see if you have any questions. You can feel free to email me or tweet me. And these are just simple little tips. It doesn't take a lot of thought, just things so your guests can have fun at your wedding while they're also taking photos and videos. Okay. And let's move on. Next thing is an important thing if you want to let your guests know about your wedding app is to get a simple hashtag or app code. If you're using Instagram, you want to get a really simple hashtag that's easy for your guests to remember. However, like I said before, you want it to be only yours. So you don't want something like Smith Wedding because there's probably thousands of Smith weddings and you're going to have a hard time finding your media. In fact, that bride who I had mentioned earlier who had an app code or a hashtag that was not, special to her, but several thousand other people, I checked last week and there were over 6 million photos and videos that were using that hashtag. So you definitely want something very unique. We do at Wedding Mix, we do have a hashtag generator and checker. So you can enter your names and tell the hashtag checker if you want something classic or fun or offbeat, and it'll generate as many hashtags as you want, and then you can check them on Instagram and Twitter to see if it's unique. This is a great way to just have fun with it, but also know and have assurances that your hashtag is only yours. So if you remember nothing else, remember to download the Wedding Mix app because it's totally free and you can get an edited wedding video. And remember, whatever you use, whatever service you use, remember what your app code is. And remember, you can visit that Tell Guests app blog post, and that's the best way to let people know what your app is. Okay, and if you have any questions, you can give us a holler at help@storymixmedia.com or visit us on our Facebook group to ask any questions. And I did have one question that came in through Facebook. Let me grab that real quick. let's see, that was Amanda who asked, what are the costs associated with being the gathering place for all the photos and videos? Well, the app is totally free, so your guests don't pay anything. And we have projects, we have a free version, and then our paid version start at $99. So that's for the app highlight package. All our packages include all the photos and videos. We have rental cameras available as well, and that starts at $399 for 2 rental cameras that you can use the wedding weekend. Now, the difference between the free package and the paid package is in the video that you get. So our free offering is a 1-minute music video, and the paid version you get, it's up to 3 minutes, and you can actually hear all, like your first dance, the vows, all of that. So that's the difference with our different packages. And she also asked, is it possible for my guests to send in everything to Wedding Mix but not have us edit it? Yeah, that's definitely possible. So if anybody wants something like that, give us a call. Our number is 800-831-1649. And oops, let's check again if there were any other questions. I'm happy to answer them. We have a couple more minutes here for Q&A. And let me check on the Hangout page as well. Okay, I don't see any questions there. Cool. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, everyone can go ahead and visit storymixmedia.com/weddingmix to learn more about our offerings. Hopefully I answered all your questions about getting the most photos and videos from your wedding guests. So again, what you learned is all the different times at which you might want your guests to take photos and videos. And then also there are links, and I will put them in the YouTube description as well, to all the blog posts with the infographics and the free table card downloads. Have a wonderful evening and hope to talk to you soon.